So before going to what is exception handling and all, let's see what is an exception and what is an error. Okay. For example, I have this code. Okay, I have this code. For example, I removed it. I didn't close it. I didn't close it properly because something there might be some reason, but I didn't close it properly. And if I run here, so what it's going to tell me, I'm getting some syntax error. Even after this code, if I have some other code, so it won't execute that. Why? Because Python is interpreted language and it's going to execute line by line, right? So if some particular line, if I have some issue, it's going to stop execution by that. And once after fixing that issue, then only it will go to next line and it will execute. So what happening here, I didn't close it properly and it's throwing me an error. Because of that, I'm not able to proceed. I'm not able to execute the next statements as well. I'm not able to execute the next statements as well. So this is not at all correct, right? So if some error is there, so with that error, I don't want to stop execution of further tasks. Okay, in one program itself, I have multiple tasks. If I get issue with one task, I don't want to stop execution for other tasks, right? I don't want to stop
Yeah.
execution other tasks. So that we should handle, right? So we should handle this error. Then only we can execute the next tasks as well. So first my task is I want to print hello. This is one of my tasks. And next task is I want to take a number and I want to print, I want to multiply with 2 and I want to print the output. So here I have two tasks. So because of some issue with this first task, I'm not able to perform the next task. Correct? So this is not at all correct. So this is where exception handling will come into picture. Okay, we are going to handle that errors and we are going to handle that exceptions. How we can see, how we can do, let's see. Exception handling. Okay, so while dealing with this exception handling, we have two important keywords. That is, one is try and one is except. Okay, one is try and one is except. So in try, okay, if we feel with some code, if we feel there is some error in some code or in some particular line, that error code we are going to keep in try block. Okay, whatever code we want to check if there is any error or not. If there is if there is no error, so that line should execute. If there is some error, it shouldn't stop the execution of next code as well. It shouldn't stop the execution of next task. So what I'm telling, so I have error in this particular task. So if I have error in that particular task, it shouldn't stop the execution of next task. So that error code we are going to keep in try block, and to handle it. So to we should tell the user something, right? There is some error in your code or there is some issue with your code. Such a message we should give the user, right? So that they can modify. So to handle it, we are going to use the except block. We are going to use the except block. Okay. So just are you able to understand what is try and what is except, Deepa?
Yeah. So far I understood.
So if we thought there is some error in the particular task or particular code, that code we are going to keep in try block, and to handle it, we are going to use the except block. Okay. Okay, let's see how
Yeah.
it. So here I told you, right? Here there is an error. So if there is no error, try block going to execute. If there is an error, except block going to execute. Okay. If there is an error with this code that I have in try block, then except block will execute. If there is no error, try block going to execute. Okay. Let's see. Try. I will keep it here. and I will remove this end brace and I want to handle it, except what I am telling, there is some error. I am telling the user, there is some error in your code, please check. And then I will go with my next tasks. Okay. Now here error is there. Normally, if we won't use try and except, what it's going to do, it will stop execution with this line and it will want to go to these lines. But if we handle that with try, like a exception handling, if we try with exception handling, if the error is there, okay, if error is there with the code in try block, it will come to the except block and it will execute the code in except block. Along with that, it's going to execute the task that I have after this try and except blocks. What happened? Should I handle right?
Dímelo, lindo. Sí, papá.
What's wrong here? Okay, it's going to handle the exceptions, not the errors. 1 second. Okay, so it's going to handle the errors. So let me tell the difference between errors and exceptions. Okay, so errors in the sense during compilation, like some syntax error. So such errors, it's going to give you. Those are errors. Exceptions in the sense runtime before giving output or so runtime will be there. So while runtime, if we get errors, those errors we are going to call as exceptions. Okay, while compilation, if we get any issue, this we are going to call as errors. And while runtime, if we get any errors, those errors we are going to call as exceptions. So those exceptions we can handle with this try and except blocks. Okay. So the errors, this is not handling the errors. So using try and except, we can handle the exceptions. Those errors which we are facing during runtime, those exceptions we can handle here. Okay, I will show you such exceptions. Okay, first let me show you such exceptions. So I have a number, and by mistake, if I divide that number with 0, then it's going to throw you an exception. See, 0 division error. This is during runtime. Okay, so such exceptions we can handle with try except. Okay, let's see how we can do. See, now it's now while I'm dividing a with 0, if we try to divide any number with 0 in Python or in any other languages, it's going to throw you 0 division exception. Okay, 0 division exception. So to handle it, I'm using this try except. I'm not able to divide a number with 0. Why? Because it's going to throw 0 division error, and I'm handling that with this except block. So there is some error in your code, please check. So whenever there is an error with the code that I have in try block, the control will come to except block and it will execute the code in except block. Okay, along with that, it will continue to the next task. See, it didn't stop me to next tasks, right? So it gave me the output of the next task as well. This is how we can we can handle the exceptions. So if we thought there is some error with the code, that code you can put in try block, and to handle it, you can use the except block so that it won't interrupt the execution of the further tasks. Okay? Clear? Any doubts?
No.
Clear? Deepa, any doubts, Deepa? Hello? Deepa, are you there? Hello? Am I audible?
Hello?
Yeah,
Yes, Mans, I missed out. Hello?
are you able to hear me? Do you have any doubt here?
Sorry. Last 2 minutes I couldn't actually.
I'm not
I
able
wasn't here.
I'm not able to hear you. Your voice is not at all clear.
Hello?
Yeah. Deepa, are you there?
Hello?
Yes, Deepa, tell me.
Manasa? Yes. So last 2 minutes I couldn't actually. I wasn't in the meet. It just got left in the mid.
Then you can go through the recording, Deepa. Okay. If
Okay.
any doubt, come to me. I will try to explain you one more example, then you can understand. Normally, to do addition, so both numbers should be integers, right? Both numbers should be integers. So for example, I have a number 10 and by mistake I took string. Okay. So if I try to add this, will it throw you any error? So if you try to add an integer and an string, is it going to throw you any error? Yes, it's going to throw us an error. Why? Because so we can we can do concatenation on two string variables, or we can do addition on two integer variables. So the data type of variable should be same while doing addition or while doing concatenation, right? Here, I took one integer variable and I took one string variable. So it won't work for us. If we execute, it's going to throw us an error. So what it's telling, unsupported operand type for integer and string. So instead of Python, if I had some number, it's going to work fine. So it's going to give me the output. But by mistake, I tried to add a number and I tried to add string. So at that time, it's going to throw us an exception. So I want to handle this exception as well. So what I can do, so whatever code I'm thinking, so there is some wrong with that code I can drop in a try block. And I will throw, if there is an error in that code, I'm going to handle that with except block. Print data type of both variables should be same. So if you execute this, the except block executed and it's telling that the type of both variables should be same. Okay, if there is no wrong with this try block, try block going to execute and try block will give you the output. If there is something wrong or if there is any error in this code that I have in try block, then except block going to execute. Okay. Clear? How we can handle?
Yes.
So, and I will give you one more example. You know list index out of range, right? When we are going to get it? I have list of See, I have 3 elements here, okay? Okay, and if I print L index of 0, what it's going to print? Hello?
A.
Yeah. And if I give L index of 3, what it will give? Out of range.
Mm,
Because index going to start with 0, A is 0, B is 1, C is 2. I don't have any index after 2, right? So I gave 3. At the time, what it's going to tell you? It's going to tell you index out of range. Correct? See, you got list index out of range. So these things also you can handle with the try block and except block. Try. I'm going to give any message you can give so that user can understand. Print. The index should be valid. See, at this time, it didn't terminate. It didn't give me any error. It's executing the except block and it's giving me an error. If you have any other code, post to this, that also going to work. So the statement will execute when you handle the exceptions with the try except block, then only the tasks or the code after the error code will get executed. Okay. If you give 0, now try block only execute and it will give you A. Along with that, it will print hello and it will print Python is easy. If there is any error, so if there is list index out of range error, then it will execute the except block. Along with that, it will give you the remaining print statements as well. Clear?
Yes.
Deepa, any doubts now? Like at the time you missed, right?
I missed models. I think I'll have to check for that.
I'm not able to hear you, Deepa. I think you have some internet issue. Better you can go through the video, okay? Recording again.
because I wasn't there for you, like 2 to 3 minutes.
Sorry?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Again, I'm going.
Hello?
Okay. Your internet is not at all good. Okay. So go through the recording. I need to take one more session on this try except block because a few things are there to discuss. I will explain those things tomorrow. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Because your internet seems not good. Okay. One thing I will tell you. One more thing I will tell here. We have finally block. Okay. Try except along with that we have finally. So if you see, if there is an error, except block going to execute. If there is no error, try block going to execute. So irrespective of both, if I want to make sure some code should be executed. If there is no an error, that is also fine. If there is no error, irrespective of that, the code should execute. So such a code we can wrap inside finally block. Okay, finally will execute irrespective of try and except. So these two statements I will wrap. Even if there is an error, these two statements should execute. Even if there is no error, these two statements should be executed. In such cases, I can wrap the two statements and or else I can wrap the code in finally block. Finally block going to execute irrespective of try and except blocks execution. Okay. See, error is there. The index should be valid. So it executed the except block because I tried to print the element with 7th index. I don't have any element with 7th index and it is list index out of range error. So because of there is an error in try block, it executed the except block. But even if it executed try or except, irrespective of that, these two statements should be executed. So that's why I kept the two statements in finally block. They got executed. If try block executed at the time also, these two statements I should print. So see, now try blocks executed because I gave L index 1. So L index 1 is B and it printed that. Along with that, it executed the two statements. So irrespective of try and except, if I want to make sure some code should be executed, then we can use finally block. Okay? Clear? What is try, what is except, and what is finally?
Yes.